back on the four-wheeler. It's a week later, and we need to get this piece off of here, and it's just a Phillips screw. And so we'll get that. Now we got that screw out. Let's get our new piece, and we can compare them. I guess we also need to get this hose off. This hose seems like it's okay, so we will reuse this. And look at that. I don't know how this thing ran at all. You know, when it did run, it must have ran until it plugged up. Man, my fear is that canister is gonna end up having issues there. You know, that holds the fuel pump. We probably could have unstopped this thing, but I'm gonna show you why I didn't. You can see, you know, we're sticking up maybe an inch. Let's look at it. And I did buy an OEM one. You could get an aftermarket one for about 20 bucks, or OEM one with a new O-ring I found for 60 bucks. So I went that route. And do y'all see a difference between these two? It's a big difference. So this little tube right here, if you look, it goes up to right here. That tube is rotted out. So not only are we missing the plastic filter, we're missing most of that tube. So that would have been an issue. So we're gonna put these in the same spot. We've got, let's see, they are both in, yeah, both in the same position. So now we need to just pull, we're going to pull this off, straight off. Let's pry it off. And we've got it pointing down. So we're going to take this one, we're going to put it pointing down. So we made sure our valves are in the same spot, and we put this in the same spot, because you could get this wrong, and then when you go to put this on the four-wheeler, you know, it won't be right. It'll be, because the little, it's not a fender, but the side panel is marked on the position. So make sure you get that right. We're going to open our O-ring here. And that is all that seals this thing to the fuel tank. And it's a big, thick O-ring. That's one of the things I was reading on the aftermarket one. Some of the O-rings that came with them were not thick enough. They probably came with a little thin O-ring. And I guess we could have reused this one, but you know, nothing about this thing here makes me want to reuse any of it. So I'm going to reposition the camera, and we're going to go set this thing up in there. It takes two 8mm bolts. I've got those right here, and they go just up in there like that. And so I'm going to try to position the camera where y'all can see and I can work, and we'll put this thing up in there. And I guess we should go ahead and put our fuel line on it real quick. And I don't remember, I think it kind of went down like that. Probably about like that. We should be able to rotate a little bit if we need to. But we're going to go ahead and put that on. And that, I think, is the fuel pump side. I'm thinking it went just like that. So, let's go put this thing in there. Alright, so we're going to be looking right in here. This is where the little cutout where the selector valve handle comes through. So I'll put y'all on that side, so I can work on the other side and try to see what I'm doing. I'm going to spray the O-ring with just a little bit of silicone. And we're going to try to go up in here. I can't really see from this side what I'm doing. I can barely see. And I can tell you that this one is a little harder to get in here because of this thing. I'm wondering if we need to take the handle off. We'll see. I think we got it. Yeah. Not too bad. Just be real careful not to hurt that filter. And I'm going to feel around here. I can't see, so I'm just having to go by feel. Feels like it's starting. Alright, with that one, what I think has started. And let's go to this other one. Oh, that one's not feeling good. I don't have much room to work on this side. So I'm going to grab my extension in my socket and see if I can use that to get this one started. Looks like that was the way to go. Because we have got that one started now. There we go. Using a cheap little socket set. Keep here in the garage. I'm going to come up on the other side and we'll tighten it down. I'm just doing hand tight right now. Get them both hand tight and then I'll torque them down. Now this is a plastic tank. It's got little brass or metal inserts for the threads. So just don't go crazy torquing this thing down. You don't want to hurt this thing. We're going to call that good. And our socket has stayed. So let me reposition y'all. That's about the best I'm going to be able to do. And I will apologize in advance if it's an awful view. What we're going to do is I think this, let's see, yeah, this one is going to go through, and we're going to get that clamp through as well. Well, or how about this? Pull it back through, we take the clamp off. There we go. That's the way to do it. And so on this one, we're going to take this clamp off. We'll put both of those through. There's a hole in this thing. And then we're going to scoop this thing back. Put our clamps back on. Like I said, I don't know what y'all can see. Clamps back on. And then we're going to start this hose on there. Clamp up. There we go. This one, clamp on. And push this hose on there. Put our pliers here. Let's get this one. These needle nose are a little sticky. I don't like to. There we go. I think that'll be good. And we didn't undo the plug or anything, and we didn't undo that pressure line, so that should be good. Now what I did do is I had started undoing the little canister, fuel pump canister thing, before I realized, or before I checked to see if we were getting fuel to that canister, and so we need to tighten that back up. I don't know if you can see in there, but I'm just going to come in from this fender. I'm just coming in from the wheel well. And just tightening it back up. I didn't take it completely out. I started loosening it off, and then I was like, well, before I completely take it off, I should undo those fuel lines. And that's when I checked to see if I had fuel coming to them, and I did not. Alright, let me put some fuel in it and we'll start it up. Alright, I got the fuel selector in the on position. I don't know if I've got enough fuel in it for that. We may have to flip it over to reserve. I've got 2 gallons in it. I would think the reserve might be like a gallon. It's right above E. You gotta think, we completely drained all the fuel out of it, which is good, because now we've got a clean tank. The nasty fuel was down at the bottom. It came out first, and then it seemed like good, clean stuff that was coming out at the end. So I think we've got a good, clean tank, and we've put 2 gallons of premium in it with some injector cleaner, just to help clean the injector and maybe that fuel canister that holds the fuel pump. We may still have an issue down there, in that I'm sure that filter has a filter sock, or that pump has a filter sock on it, and so that could very well be plugged. You know, with that little filter missing from the tank, it probably let all kinds of nasty stuff down into there. So we'll see, but we're not gonna address that if we don't have to. So let's give it 2 primes. So parts. This was the petcock 16950-HP5-601, made in Japan. And this looks like it. This is the O-ring. It's a 16997-467- looks like 000 or 00, 2 zeros at the end, from what I can tell. All right. I'm going to call that fixed. I'll just continue to monitor it, you know, knowing that, you know, in the near future we may have an issue in that fuel pump housing, but I'm not going to tear into it if it's not an issue. You know, we risk the chance of, you know, breaking something by opening that up. You know, I wouldn't think we would, but you know, if the, I don't know, you know, we could strip out screws in the house. You could do anything. My thing is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it seems to be working fine right now. So, but in the back of my head, I'll keep that in my memory. And if we have any fuel delivery issues, that'll probably be where it's going to be. So, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.